Hey there, it's Elysha. Thanks for joining. Today I am going to be sharing a major styling trick to help you achieve more balance in your look. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this today is because this is something that I have been doing with my style all along, and I never really shared it with on the blog or even with my clients. But then I was working with a client recently and it just became so clear to me that this styling trick that I use on myself all the time is something that she could benefit from so greatly. Now, sometimes when we think about achieving balance in our look with style, we think about the body shape guidelines. That is, I know I've talked about that. Maybe you've heard other people talk about that. And the body shape guidelines are really about deciding what you want to wear to achieve more balance and how you look to create an illusion of balance, really. But the styling trick that I'm talking about today isn't so much about what you want to wear, but it's more about how you want to wear it. It's how you're going to put your garments, your items, and how you're going to put them together to create a balanced look. And this is what my client needed. My client, she had balance with her body. Her body looks amazing. She feels really great about her body. So her body is already very balanced, but where she had an imbalance was in how she was choosing to wear her clothes or how she was styling herself. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to share the sweet and salty styling technique to help you achieve more balance with what you wear. Sweet and salty. Now, do you remember that ice cream, salted caramel? It came out, I don't know, maybe it was 5 years ago, but it was a really big deal. And just this idea of mixing like the sugar, the sweetness of the sugar with the bitterness of the salt, it was groundbreaking at the time. I know I loved it. And then I went on to like put pretzels inside my ice cream. And then I went from pretzels and ice cream to pretzels and peanut butter, but I don't know if that's like the sweet and salty thing. But anyway, sweet and salty, this idea of mixing a little bit of sweet with a little bit of salty to get a really nice, interesting blend. And that is what I'm talking about with your style. This is something that you can do. I'm sure that you have all the right components and pieces and elements in your closet right now that you can try out the sweet and salty styling trick. Now, it's somewhat like the high-low mix. Have you ever heard about that? So that's when you mix high-end clothes, so like head to toe. Okay, so head to toe designer, like big logos, Gucci, all the big high-end designer brands, head to toe. That's one way that you can dress. It's not the most diverse or interesting way to put together your outfit, but you certainly can do it, and I'm sure you will look amazing when you do it. But you know what's going to demonstrate your styling know-how even more? When you know how to mix up your high-end designer pieces with other items that are, I don't want to say low-end or cheap, but more like simple. So something that's maybe not so fancy. So maybe you mix your high-end designer pieces with something that you found at a vintage store, okay? So it's just about mixing something high-end with something simple, okay? So that's what the sweet and salty technique is like. It's really about taking two opposites and bringing them together to create a really cool and interesting mix. So, like I said, this is something that I've been doing in my style all the time, and I really want to explain to you how to do this because I think it's going to help you really up-level what you're wearing. And if you feel like you want more help than what I'm going to talk about here in this video, then I want to invite you to join me for a style clarity call, because it is in this call that we will talk about your style and we will talk about how you can incorporate different styling techniques like the sweet and salty technique so that you can create a more interesting and diverse style. And then you learn how to put your outfits together, not only so you have more outfits, but so you have a cool and cohesive style. So I'm going to put the link to book your complimentary style clarity call. I'm going to put the link below, so you can just click that link and book your call, and then we will talk all about your style and see if I can help you if working with me is your next right step. But For right now, in this video, I am going to go through the basics to help you achieve more balance with your look by incorporating the sweet and salty styling technique. So how does it work? Okay, when you are getting dressed, when you are putting together outfits, what you need to do is think about what you want to wear and you start assigning attributes. You start assigning the sweet or salty attribute to your garment. Now, if you've been with me for a little bit, you may be familiar with the North Star words. You can use your North Star words in the sweet and salty technique, okay? So then you would just take two words that are opposite, okay? So the purpose of sweet and salty is to bring in disparate feelings so that you create a more interesting and diverse mix, okay? But let's just stick with the words sweet and salty. So you're going to look at different garments, and I'm going to show you examples, by the way. So I'm going to explain how to do it, and then I'm going to give you a couple examples right now so that you can really see how it comes together. So you're looking through your different garments, and then you're just going to assign either it's sweet or it's salty. So what does sweet look like? Well, sweet looks feminine. It could be florals. It could be thin fabrics like silk. It is refined, and it's just very feminine. It's very pretty, okay? So the colors would be more like pastel colors, okay? And salty, that is bitter. So that would be a little bit more edgy. It would be, the fabrics could be more like leather or something a little bit stronger. Maybe it's a stripe or a bold color or a strong primary color, okay? So you're just going to decide which of the attributes you're going to give the garment. Is it sweet or salty? And then you're going to put it together to create a really cool and interesting mix with what you're wearing. Now I'm going to give you 3 examples of what it looks like to apply the sweet and salty technique. So the first one is something that I am wearing right now, and I'm actually going to I want to zoom out of my, let's zoom out a little bit so that you can see. So what I'm wearing right now is I have on, this is my floral silk top. So this would definitely be sweet, okay? It's floral, it's silk, it's soft, it's feminine, okay? So mixing in the salty. Now, I'm not gonna use the word edgy for salty, but I've replaced that with these pants, which to me, these are super casual. These are sporty. These are, oh my goodness. How does that always happen? Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. It's like every time I come on live, there's always like mad interruptions. And I thought I shut everything down, but then there's always something else that comes up. So these pants are super casual. These are almost like sweatpants. They have the elastic at the bottom, so super casual. The color feels very casual, very sporty. So I have created a balance here. I've balanced out the feminine of the top with something that is a little bit more salty. It's a little bit more sporty. It's a little bit more casual. Now just imagine if I was wearing this top with, let's say I put it with you know, like a really feminine, like pleated, you know, those pleated midi skirts, like a silky midi skirt, that is not going to have the same balance. Now, it might look good. You don't always have to apply the sweet and salty technique, but it's just another tool to put in your styling toolbox for you to try when you want. So if I was going to wear a pretty midi pleated skirt, you know, and then a pair of high heels, then that would all be very sweet. But instead, I've put on something super casual, super sporty. And a lot of times when you do the sweet and salty technique, it helps you feel more like you. So it helps you bring together the different elements of your own personality so that you feel more like yourself in the clothes you're wearing. Now, as far as the shoes go for this one, I could go with like a heel. You know, I could put on a heel here and then that would up the ante on the sweet factor, or I could keep it really casual and I could go more with like an espadrille kind of flat shoe, and that's going to go more on the salty side. Okay, so that is example number 1 for sweet and salty. Next up, I have all of these examples over here that you can't really see. So I've got this one right here. So this is a floral spaghetti strap sundress, right? So do we think this is sweet or salty? I think it is very, very sweet. So to mix it up, like if I had a leather biker jacket, that would be really fun to pair with this. So again, you want to think about mixing in the opposite of what this is, okay? So what I could do with working with the clothes that I have is I could just add in, I've got, again, oh, my papers fell. I've got something, I tend to have a lot of sporty clothes in my wardrobe. I tend to mix sporty and feminine a lot. That is often my version of sweet and salty, would be sporty and feminine. So that is a mix that really makes me feel like myself. So I could go with something like this. I could put on the sporty jacket. This was my son's when he was, I think when he was like 10 or 11 or something. I wear it, it's very shrunken. The fit is shrunken intentionally. And so I could do something like this. Or another example would be, which I think would be really fun, is, oh, and then I could, as far as the shoes go, I could go into something like this. So that could keep it as more of the sweet feel going in with a heel, or I could go into something that would be way more sporty and go into something like that. But I want to show you another example because I have another example that actually is probably more something I would wear. I don't know. I might try this with that, but what I think could be really great is if I went with something like this. Now this is, it's just a black slip dress, right? And I don't really do black slip dresses like this anymore, like how I used to. I used to when I was like, I don't know, 20 something, I used to do that a lot. But this could be kind of a fun option right here, is go with the black slip dress and then make it sporty there. So this feels kind of feminine, elegant even, and then I would definitely go into something like this. The sneakers and the dress look is something that I'm seeing a lot. A lot of women in the city, in Manhattan, in New York, are wearing white sneakers. Those are really popular right now. I don't have any white sneakers. I've got these ones. So I would definitely do something like this. Because if I went into something like this, I don't know, that's not really the look that I want to do, or that. So anyways, yeah, so this is something that is mixing the sweet and salty technique. So we have the sweet and then we have the salty here. I'm going to show you another option. And that is going to be, so I have this dress here, which if this isn't sweet, then I don't know what is sweet. I saw this on the hanger and this was all sweetness to me, which I loved because I knew I would never wear all sweet like this on its own. I would have to mix it up. So an easy way for you to think about mixing your sweet and your salty, because I think most people have a denim jacket. So the denim jacket is going to add your salt to your sweetness. So that is just the easiest way to do it. So you could just put your denim jacket on top of your sweet dress, and then there is your sweet and salty mix. Again, like I'd probably go with my sneakers for this as opposed to going with my heel. I don't think I would really do the heel. That feels, see, when it starts to get too sweet, then it starts to move too far away from my style. But for your style, you might feel like you're getting closer to yourself the sweeter that you get. Another option that I also have here is I also have this variation of a denim jacket, and it is it's nylon. I got this at a vintage store on St. Mark's Place, which is back in the 90s when I first moved here. That was like where all the rockers used to hang out. It's not so much like that anymore. It's a lot of like teenage runaways that hang out there now. But anyways, I like this one because it's thin, it's nylon, and this often serves as my denim jacket. So this could be the salt factor for this outfit. And I like this one. It's a little bit thinner, so that's why I think it's just better for summer to have a bit of a thinner jacket, but it has the silhouette of a denim. So that is, again, another sweet and salty option to give you some ideas for what you could try. So that is what I wanted to share with you today about the sweet and the salty technique. I hope that this inspired you to get into your closet, to see what you can do to create sweet and salty with your outfits, because it adds more interest. It makes your outfit more diverse. It brings in different elements, and it really allows you to make more of a statement with what you're wearing. And it really helps you you develop your styling skills, because when you get really good at mixing your sweet and salty pieces together, then you're really demonstrating that you know how to put outfits together in a really smart, creative, and fun way. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.